Hello and welcome to another episode of What Do You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB. Definitely not re-recording this intro. Please let me welcome today's guest. He is the Tiger King, unfortunately, I've got to say, former Burridge fight design champion. Please welcome Gav Mayhem. Gav, hey B mate, you all good?
Yes, how you doing, man? I'm all good, man. Thank you for having me on, man.
Awesome. I'm very happy to have you on. I actually spoke to you at the end of last year at the last Emporium Pro Wrestling show. At the end of the show, I was like, "Look, I have you on next year, and we're gonna make it happen." And exactly what we're doing now. So thank you for coming on. What I'm going to do is rewind the clocks, and Gav, I want to discover how you became a fan of pro wrestling.
Oh man, like I've been a wrestling fan from since I was a kid, like from like 6, 7 years old. Um, I used to watch it with my granddad when I used to stay at my nan and granddad's, and ever since then, I've loved wrestling, man. I grew up watching, obviously, the 80s Hulk Hogan, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the Million Dollar Man. Loved all those guys. Demolition. There's so many to
Oh man,
remember,
I tell
man.
you what, Demolition. I like them last young as well, right? Doesn't really quite hold up as well when you, especially when people that don't really watch wrestling, never watched it when you grew up, and that's like
Yeah.
one of the images they see of the golden generation. They're like, oh, fair enough, interesting.
Yeah. No, they all like one of my favorite tag teams, man. If you I think back to like, do you know, like I think it was it SummerSlam where it was like Demolition, where there was three of them. It was like Axe, Smash, and Crush, and then they felt was it the Heart Foundation? I
Yeah,
think it was that SummerSlam. I remember that.
Fatal
I
Three
love.
Falls,
Yeah,
fantastic
yeah,
match,
love that match, man.
mate. I
Love.
love it. The crowd proper erupt as well when
Yeah,
Heart Foundation get the win. Slight assistance from LOD, yes, Legion
yeah,
of
yeah,
Doom. So I'm not going
yeah.
to call them Road Warriors. I'm always going to call them Legion of Doom, but it's
Yeah,
it's those larger life characters, man. So colourful, like Legion of Doom, red, bright red, and then
yeah.
Demolition black with gold and silver face paint, and then you've got Heart Foundation, who made it cool to wear
So,
pink.
yeah, definitely, definitely. It's true, so true. Bret
Did you
Hart, isn't
find
it?
yourself going to shows when you were younger, sort of local shows, even with like the fake Undertaker or fake Kane, or did you kind of just watch it at home when you were growing up?
Yeah, growing up, I just watched it at home. Um, I think that the probably the first show that I went to in terms of WWE and stuff was I went to Capital Carnage. Don't know if you
Jim,
remember. Yeah. I went to
hey,
that.
mate, I remember that show. I didn't go to it, but yeah, I was quite
Yeah,
bored.
I went to that. I went to that. But other than that, yeah, didn't
Hold
get
on,
to watch.
we're going to touch on Capital Carnage. First time I ever spoke about it.
Uh-huh.
There are some listeners out there. They might have to go to Netflix to watch it if it is on there somehow. Explain the main event, and then you had. Oh man, I'm trying to remember the other matches now. Edge versus Tiger Ali Singh.
Nah, Tiger Singh, nah. It's way before that, I think. No,
I've got to think.
it's before
Uh,
that. I remember Jacqueline. I remember Jacqueline was in it, and I think it
for
was
what
the
when
first
she's the
time.
ref and
Yeah, it was that match. It was that match. Triple H. Because I remember I went to get a drink at that time.
yeah,
But when I walked back into the stadium, it was right when he did the pedigree, and I was like, yes, at least I got to see the
nice.
pedigree. Yeah. But I remember that. I
That's
can't really
awesome.
remember what the main event was. Was it Taker?
Take it, Kane, Mick
Take.
Foley, and Austin. There's a special ref. I want to
Yeah,
say Big Boss Man or Pat Patterson. I can't fully remember. I want
yeah,
to say one of them two.
yeah. I can't remember the main event. I thought it was Austin as well. It might have been Austin.
But I remember Vinnie Jones though being a guest there, and that's quite a big thing then. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
still quite a big name now, but back then, just fresh off football, lock, stock, and two smoking barrels.
yeah.
You know, the
Exactly.
UK fans going nuts. Americans probably going, "Who the fuck is this?" But
Yeah, yeah, man.
so,
Yeah.
when did you think to yourself, Gav? Okay, I love wrestling. I'm a fan. I've been watching it since I was 5, 6 years old. I now want to give it a go. Sort of, was there a match that inspired you, or did you know from a young age? Okay, I actually one day want to get inside the ring.
Yeah, yeah. So I would say like from being young, I've always wanted to do wrestling, but I would say that I wasn't confident in like doing it because you think wrestling, you think you know larger than life, massive. guys and stuff like that. So before I was in wrestling, I actually studied like Wing Chun, so I used to do martial arts. Um, Started teaching it. So wrestling for me was like secondary. As much as I really wanted to do it, I was like, I feel like I'm just too small, like, and no one's ever gonna want me to wrestle. So I never kind of pursued it until like I found like Greg's school, like the London Lucha League at the time. I found that on the internet, and one of my friends was like, "Just go down there, like, and just see, innit? You never know." Like, I went down there, and like as soon as I walked in, I met one of the guys. His name was Cameron, and like as soon as I walked in the door, he was just like, "Hey, hey, man, come, join in, man." And then from then, that was it. Like, loved it, and ever since then, I've been wrestling. So, and that wasn't too long ago. That was like I would say 2019.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when like my wrestling journey kind of really started. Like just before like COVID hit, if you know what I mean. So
Do you
yeah.
think with your Wing Chun background
hmm
that actually gave you somewhat of an advantage, or even help you sort of adapt to the physicality and the
Yeah,
endurance of wrestling?
yeah, definitely everything. As well. Like I've got a long history in terms of like performing and stuff because I used to do performing arts. Like I studied performing arts in college,
Nice.
did it at university. I used to work for a company called Chicken Shed. Don't know if you know that. It's in like Cockfosters.
Well,
So
yeah.
I worked there for years. So I've done plenty, like loads of shows, like loads of live shows in terms of acting and dancing and performing. So I would
Sick.
say all of that helps me with like wrestling, like the
Yeah.
performance element of it is something that I'm used to doing, you know?
That's really cool. So the Wing Chun background, then you've also got like the theatre background and the acting and the showmanship. It's just such a it's such a natural background to
Yeah,
sort of
great
get quite
combination.
far in wrestling, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tell me
Yes.
about the Burridge Fight School.
Yeah. What do you want
So, so
to
you tell me about sort of your first day, but tell me what were some of your biggest challenges? What were your favorite things that you love to do in terms of your training?
know?
And what was the best advice? Not necessarily from Greg himself, because I have asked the previous guest what's the best advice you received from Greg, but what's the
Yeah.
best advice that you've received during your training there at Burridge Fight Design?
Okay, so I'd say like my biggest challenge was like because in wrestling, I don't know if it's just British wrestling. Correct me if I'm wrong, but everything's like done on the left hand side, like everything headlocks left. That was challenging for me because I'm right-handed. I know a lot of people are naturally right-handed, but for me, a challenge in wrestling was getting used to doing things with the left hand side of my
Yeah.
body, which I wasn't used to, especially with like coming from Wing Chun and stuff like that. Everything I would always use my right hand. So using the other side was challenging for me at first. I found that
That's
very difficult.
honestly quite a unique thing to point out because as a casual fan, you're never going to notice it, are you?
Yeah, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, because I didn't notice that either. Like watching wrestling, you wouldn't notice it. You wouldn't see it,
Yeah.
but people that know wrestling and wrestlers, they're like, "Oh, look, he's done a headlock wrong, or whatever. He's taken down from the wrong side." It's stuff like that. So the details of it is, yeah, I found that challenging. In terms of like advice that I wouldn't say advice, but like something that Greg that will always stay with me from from training like with Greg and stuff is like taking in the audience and like the audience are the most important thing. So like if like you're having a match and like you can have someone that can do 10,001 flips. They can do a back flip, front flip. And what Greg showed me, what was more important, was telling the story in a match that the audience are going to remember. So you
Yeah.
can you can pick out that one person in the front row, that you can get him to get behind you. So say it's a little boy, and you get your the baby face and you're getting beaten up, and you can look out to that boy in the audience and be like, help me, and he helps you. He's like, I'm helping you, and you're bringing him into the story of the match. And that kind of stuck with me because it's like that's more important, that people go home, you know remembering you. Like, you want the audience to go home remembering you, and that's how they're gonna remember you, is like by telling them a story during a match that they remember. That's what I found, and that's what I
That's
took
quite
away from.
interesting. And
Yeah,
I think, just as a sort of lifelong wrestling fan, just I do think it's very important to engage with the fans. It's
yeah,
all well and good doing the moves that you like to do and stuff, but without telling the story and getting those fans involved in your matches, what's the point? You know,
exactly, exactly, definitely.
want to touch on your in-ring debut. I always like asking British wrestlers this because it's quite interesting. Some people make debuts like quite late into the career. Some people make it like in the first like training session. But Gav, tell me about your first in-ring debut with even if it was like 10 people in the crowd.
Uh, well, my first match was uh, like my first match that I had was with Tommy Tanner. The first match that I had, yeah, was that like a like a training show, like for the trainees. So
Yeah.
it's when we were both like trainees and stuff. So my first match was with him, which actually beat me, so I owe him one. Tell him I owe him one for that. But yeah, that was my first match. Um, my first match working for a promotion was like UKPW, which is when I uh won the Burridge Fight Design Championship. So that was one of my first matches, I would say. Before then,
Yes.
I've done like camps and stuff, different camps, working for a promotion and doing that type of stuff.
Tell me the
Yeah.
camps. What are they like?
They're fun, man. They're really fun. It's like, going around to like different campsites, and the crowd are very different. You got the kids. The kids are wild and rary because obviously they're not even really wrestling fans. They just want to see some wrestling, some fighting. So
They proper
it's
get into it though, don't they?
proper get into it proper, and it was good. Like, it's a good way of like learning, like learning the craft, like working with different people and stuff. So that's how I kind of learned a lot from wrestling, from doing the camps, and especially like working in front of an audience, because different audiences are going to give you different reactions. So it kind of sets you up for being in like a proper wrestling show, is like working in front of an audience like that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, definitely. Every crowd's different. I mean, you've got different types of crowds. You've got the ones that are diehards who know everything, maybe
Yeah.
too much for their own good sometimes. But then you get the casual fans who couldn't name you a single wrestler that we know. But once they see it, they're like engaged, they're hooked. But then you've got to keep them hooked and engaged.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, man.
I
I
see you
agree.
met Leo Rush as a fan.
Yeah, Rush. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, how was he, mate? Was he good?
Yeah. He was cool, man. He was cool. I went to support Tommy Tanner at the show. Went to watch that, and then yeah, because I didn't know he was gonna be facing him, but I met him. Uh, he was selling some merch. I thought, get some merch off Leo Rush. He's another person that, as a smaller athlete, that's inspired me, like in terms of wrestling. Like growing up, well, I say growing up, but seeing Leo Rush in like WWE, especially from his size, like wrestling people like, Bobby Lashley and the bigger guys that he faced. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's someone who, I've proper like looked up to and looked out, especially his style. Like, his style was something that, you know, how I would want to wrestle. So he's good to watch.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know Rush. I think he's pretty good. I
Yeah.
actually became a fan of you last year at Emporium Pro Wrestling. And you say, you being a smaller sized athlete, honestly, when watching you perform, I thought you stood out. And, against people that, are taller than you, you don't let it stop you. You really get a good reaction. You hit your moves right. And then by the end of it, honestly, mate, like, size doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay, it doesn't. It doesn't. And obviously, you have someone like Rey Mysterio is obviously like one of my top people that got me into wrestling. Like seeing him and seeing how like from all of these matches, like from Shawn Michaels to Great Khali, like the difference in sizes and working with, that's something that yeah, Rey Mysterio is like number one for me, basically. You know.
Probably my favourite luchador of all time, I'd have to say,
Yeah.
and I don't think
Def-
many people definitely disagree with that. But I feel like with you, Emporium, though, you are really making a name for yourself, especially
yeah.
at Genesis Cinema. Get good reactions, and unfortunately, you did lose the title at the last show. But tell me overall, sort of, how would you describe your Emporium pro wrestling experience so far, mate?
Oh man, like amazing from backstage to on stage is like loved it. Like so professional. It's something that I've never not gotten to see in that side of wrestling. So from behind the curtains, what goes on, how you put on a wrestling show. So my experience has just been unbelievable. I've loved it. I've loved performing, like the audience, like to being in the ring. Amazing, amazing, man.
Everyone's got their own identity on this roster for
Yeah.
Emporium, that I've noticed. And the presentation is just spot on. The Titantrons, the ring, I
Yes.
mean, the venue, I spoke about Genesis Cinema before. I think it's top notch. It's a good location. And then, the talent themselves bring something different in each match. And I feel like you bring your own character. And that's what I'm sort of going to go into next. And that is the Tiger King. If you can show the listeners that are watching this on YouTube, if
Yeah.
not, I will send you to Gav's social media so you can see this mask. But yeah, give me a display of this Tiger King mask, mate.
So this is the Tiger King mask.
Nice. I didn't notice the red on it before previously. That's pretty sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
on the back. I like that.
Yeah, man. That's the mask. Yeah.
Tell me the inspiration for the name and the mask design.
Okay, so with the name, I would say because um I was born 1986, which is the year of the tiger. So that's always been my thing kind of growing up of tiger's my
Wow.
favorite animal. Yeah. I have like a tiger pattern all over my body.
Yeah.
So like that's the whole thing is like I'm the Tiger King basically. So I used that basically as a thing. But the Tiger King for me is more like, do you know, like Finn Balor's like Demon King
Yes.
or the demon persona that he uses. That's how I see the Tiger King. So it's more like that's the inner champion of me. So like, if you can't defeat Gav Mayhem, there's no way you can
Yeah.
defeat
There's
Tiger
someone
King.
else you can defeat.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I see it. That's who the Tiger King is for me. Yeah,
Nice. And the design as well, mate. So I can tell there's a bit of Rey Mysterio in it. But where was the
yeah.
design? Where did you get it from? Why the color black? I think it's great, but I just want to know if there's sort of a bit more meaning to it, as opposed to you mentioned about why you're the Tiger King, but the mask, sort of. I just want a bit more detail. That's all.
So the mask I got from like like a luchador person that makes like lucha mask, and obviously that was the idea of what I wanted. I wanted the Rey Mysterio type style, but with a tiger element to it. And that's what I got to with it. Like if you see like it's got the ears, like the side of the hair and stuff like that, like the side of a tiger, and that's it basically.
I like it, man.
Yes, it's cool,
It's got
man.
a bit of that. What's his name? Tiger Mask feeling to it, like
Yeah,
very New Japan style for me, not just Ray. And yeah, I love it, man. I love it. One thing I
yeah.
was a bit gutted though when you did get the mask pulled off at the
No,
last Emporium show, mate. You're
yeah.
gonna have to super glue it on your head now.
I'll get him back. Don't worry. I'll get my revenge. The Tiger King will have his revenge. Yeah, and that's another good thing about like Emporium as well. Like the storyline of how everyone's involved in like different storylines and characters coming out doing different promos. Like I find it amazing, amazing.
They do really build to not just focusing on just that show that you're currently watching, but to the next show and then referencing the previous shows. And it's not a
Yeah,
case of, oh shit, I missed that show, but actually in a way, it's kind of like, oh shit, missed that. Or maybe I've got to go to the next one to see what else they do.
yeah,
You
yeah.
want a conclusion, but then they keep going and going with different stories, and it's just very engaging. I feel like a lot of companies just want to do, yeah, not nothing wrong with that. It works,
Yeah.
just special matches and attractions, and then sort of one and done. That's it. But there's a bit
Mhm.
more to it at Emporium.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, man.
Just got one or two more questions for you, mate, and then I'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening at the time of recording. It's not too late, but we've got a bit more time. So, what I'm going to ask you is, what are your wrestling goals for 2026? I know you want to get back the Burridge Fight Design Championship, but what else, mate, sort of, do you see yourself doing before we go into 2027?
Yeah. What I would love is I'd love to wrestle at a bigger venue, maybe bigger venue that I haven't wrestled in before or performed in. I'd love to do that. Um, I'd like to main event a show if I get the chance to main event and maybe work with
It's
someone.
possible that for that happen at Emporium this year. That is very possible.
Yeah, hopefully, I hope it happens, man. Hopefully, yeah, and just wrestling someone, that's like a name, like a big name. Like I would love to wrestle. I don't know, like even Tyler Walker. Tyler Walker's someone who I've seen grow as a performer. I'd love to wrestle him. You know, and
Shout out to the
anyone.
Prince of Peckham.
Out to Mr. Beckham. Huh? Yeah. So
But
those are my
you're
goals.
not rushing it, like that's the thing. You've got things you want to achieve at the moment, but it looks like you're just having fun, and I think that's
Yeah,
very
that's it,
important.
man. I'm having fun. This year is about having fun. Having fun and learning more of the craft while I'm at it. So getting better in the ring, um, doing moves. With wrestling now, you can't even do moves that you haven't seen before. People are
Mm,
doing some wild things, but like I would say that my style is unique to me. Well, I try and make it unique to myself as much as I do have certain elements of people that have inspired me. I try to make myself and my style of who I am unique to myself, and that's what I want to bring to my matches in terms of everything, like character, um, and myself. Like so, you'll see that a lot more, especially with Emporium. Even though the mask is gone, you're going to see more of Gav Mayhem and the character that I am.
yeah,
I feel like I haven't really shown that as much yet, but in time we're going to get to see that.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. I will, Mr. Master. I do think it's a very cool look, but then also
Must be back.
we,
Back.
I feel like we've only scratched the surface with Gav Mayhem, the person. Three dream dinner guests for your dream party.
Oh, okay, okay. Really did a guess, yeah. It doesn't have to be wrestling.
Doesn't have to be wrestling related at all. So if you want to
Okay.
pick three people, dead or alive, that aren't in wrestling, go for it, mate. You're the host. Yeah,
Be dream guest. Okay. So Jackie Chan.
nice.
I'll have Jackie Chan. I would have. Uh, I would love to get to know. Um, oh, I don't know, man. I've got to throw Rey Mysterio in there. That would be a crazy
Yeah,
mix
Rey
as well.
Mysterio.
Jackie Chan. So Rey Mysterio, Jackie Chan, and I don't know. The Rock. The Rock. I'll say The Rock.
Who would win a fight? I'm going to be a kid. I'm going to ask who'd win a fight, Jackie Chan and The Rock. That is my extra last question.
Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan all day.
100% agree. The Rock's not The Rock. It's just he knows how to fight. The Rock could just be doing like, oh, there, 1 minute. Yeah, the way he spits the hands. Jackie Chan can fuck you up with like two
That's a
fingers.
good movie, man. That's a good movie, The Rock and Jackie.
No, is it? I
Jackie
don't
Chan?
mind.
Have you seen his movie with John Cena?
What Jackie Chan and John Cena? I've not seen it yet.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've
you
not
got.
seen it.
Yeah. Can't remember what it's called, but there's a Jackie Chan John Cena movie. But the Rock and Jackie Chan will be quite fun as well, I suppose.
I would not mind that. I would not mind it. But who would be the bad guy? Who'd be the good guy if they were to do films together? Or are they going to be both like sort of, they're friends, but can they coexist like in
Yeah,
wrestling?
yeah. It has to be that, innit? It has to be that. I think
Lovely.
the Rock starts off as a bad guy in that movie, and then becomes good near the end.
Because of Jackie Chan's wisdom
Yeah, yeah,
and his friendship. Love
yeah.
it. If anyone can do an AI image of Jackie Chan and The Rock in a film, I don't know, Amazon Prime, send me a link and then I'll tweet you. I'll whatever. I'll try and include a video if I can. If I've got enough time. But awesome, awesome. Gav, where can the listeners find you on social media so they can keep up to date with you in 2026 and the rest of your career?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Gav Mayhem, man. Gav Mayhem on Instagram. Go check me out,
Awesome.
man.
Give him a follow. Give me a follow on my social media handles. They'll be in the description below. Subscribe now. Subscribe to this channel. Like this video. And also, have a good weekend. Take
Have a
care,
good
everyone.
Be quiet now, children. WW Fire is about to start on YouTube.
When the bell rings, you know it's on. Another chapter, another dawn. Feel the rumble, hear the roar. WFI knocking at your door.